Good morning, peeps. Welcome to another vlog. We are already at the job site right now. I want to show you what we're tackling today. So we got ourselves a pretty old faucet. It looks like it's probably original to the house when it was built, but it's the faucet that we are going to swap out. That's number one. The second thing we have is a PO plug that deteriorated over time. So if we come down here and take a look, basically broke right off. Normally there's a lip on this side right here, and that lip is usually attached to this piece, but the lip is a goner. I think it's somewhere inside here. So a bunch of juicy service plumbing coming your way, peeps. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification so you know exactly when you're getting videos. Smash that thumbs up, share with friends, and let's go do some delicious plumbing. Whenever I see an old faucet like this one, I'm really worried about how long it will take to get it out. So I try to make my life as easy as possible by clearing the path to the faucet I will most likely struggle with. I say this only because time and time again when I meet an old faucet like this, I find that the nuts that are holding it mounted to the sink are usually in really rough shape. So they are either seized or rusted, or in worst case scenario, both. Thankfully, this one came out like a dream, but these are usually the exception and not the rule. So don't be discouraged when this happens to you, because it's happened a million times to me and it's going to continue throughout my future as well. What you have to do is struggle through it, and then you got to thank the plumbing gods for whenever you get an easy one just like this one. So one thing I wanted to briefly talk to you about. A lot of times when you get faucets for vanities, you're going to see that some of the manufacturers ask for some sort of sealing that takes place on the bottom of a faucet. Now, with working with other plumbers, I've noticed that some of the plumbers that I work with now, they don't use plumber's putty the way I use it and the way my father used to use it. Plumber's putty is not something that they have in their repertoire at all, but I keep plumber's putty on me because of situations like this, so that I can just rip off a little section of plumber's putty all around the base of it. A lot of what the plumbers I work with now use is silicone. They will silicone the base of the faucet, or they'll silicone the lip of the PO plug and then plug the PO plug using silicone. So that's just something new. That's a new stylistic approach. I've tried it myself as well. It works pretty good in a lot of circumstances, but I'm still kind of an old soul and I prefer using plumber's putty. I want to talk to you about a quick concept that I use when I'm doing plumbing that is going to be, I think, useful to you individuals that are in the trade, getting into the trade, just learning it. And here's the idea. I got two places where I got to put supply lines, right? I got one stem here and the second stem here. I always opt to do the further one first. And the reason why is because if I do the closer one first, if I were to throw the supply line into this one and I use my tool to tighten it down, it'll go in comfortably. But at this point, if I wanted to introduce the second supply line in, two problems I have. One is, this is obstructing my vision, first of all, to get in there and see if I threaded it correctly. And second of all, it also becomes an obstacle to getting to it comfortably. Because my major issue is that now I have to go across the supply line and try to tighten it like so. So let me throw it in just for observational purposes. So the second supply line is threaded on. We have to look around it now. And if I get in, what will end up happening is upon tightening it, I will be bumping into the first supply line. Instead, what I opt to do is do the further supply line first. I throw it in, I tighten it. And as I'm tightening it, you're going to notice that there's nothing in my way to rotate this ratchet function that I got here. It's nice and clear. And then, upon introducing the supply line to the closer stem, when I tighten it, I am also free of any obstructions as well. So I just wanted to describe that to you because there is a such thing of doing things in a way where you get in your own way as you do it. If I started off by putting the supply line on the closest stem to me, it gets in the way of me approaching the second supply line and doing that second one comfortably. Could you do it? Absolutely. It just might take you a little bit more time because, again, it's obstructing your vision. It's also obstructing your reach. It's making it a little bit awkward as you rotate it to tighten the second supply line, the further one. So a lot of times when you tackle a problem physically, you have to physically decide on where to start so that you don't get in your way in the future. And that is a conversation you're going to be constantly having with yourself for the rest of your apprenticeship and the rest of your career, because there are ways of starting jobs where you end up getting yourself into trouble because you get in your own way. And the more information you have and the more experience you have, the better you are at not getting in your way, which is what makes things a little bit smoother. So, I mean, this is a small example of that. Hopefully I'll be able to get videos of bigger examples of that, but it's just a concept I wanted to put out there. So supply lines are in, I'm gonna start connecting them, I'm gonna turn on the water, etc. Let's go.
Peeps, as you see here, I apply plumbing dope to the threads of the PO plug and also to the gasket of the PO plug as well. This is something that I was taught throughout my apprenticeship and it's stuck with me ever since. What we have seen in the past is a tiny trickle of water making its way past the gasket and onto the threads and down the stem of the PO plug. So other plumbers had tipped us off on this installation style, and what we have found is by adding dope to these installations, it's very rare that we run into those same issues. I think the most interesting thing about installing pipe is at some point in your career, you're going to become so good at it that it is always the shortest phase of our work. Getting to the pipes has always proven to be the longest phase, especially on job sites where you have obstacles in the way. Sometimes you're breaking concrete, sometimes you're spending time putting up hangers, but once these are all set up for success, your hands move rapidly on the cylinders you've been studying for the last decade or so. Remember, you now have a relationship with these tubes. You understand how to find distances between them. You can see areas of difficulty before you even reach them. You are even aware of the limits of the materials that they are made of, and you know which applications call for which type of pipe. And because of that, whenever the pipes touch your hands, you move through those installations very rapidly. And if you pay attention to that, you can finally appreciate the growth that you've gone through. Peeps, if you're interested in learning plumbing theory from me, please check out my website, molotovplumbingacademy.com. There you'll find my plumbing math course, and I'm currently in the works of making a beginner's plumbing course as well. Links are in the description. Thanks for the support, and enjoy the rest of the vlog.
Alright, just want to show you progress where we're at, okay? Got our faucet connected and installed over there. Underneath we have two long supply lines that wrap around the drain and the vent right here. Take a look at the drain. We got our new PO plug right here. Gets into a union trap. This is our trap arm right here. I had to make sure that this distance was a minimum of 3 inches. This is about 3 1/4. You need to make sure that with your traps, the trap arm is at least two times the diameter of the trap itself. That way you don't create anything close to an S-trap, which is self-siphoning. Hits my TY, comes down into a Fernco coupling. I didn't have spread. I wasn't able to move the pipes up and down. If I could have, I would have been able to glue 2 pieces, one up there, but I threw a coupling up there, threw it in UTY, reassembled this drain so it was working better. And just like that, we are done a whole day of plumbing. So a pretty simple, straightforward job. Getting the drain in wasn't too difficult as well. We managed to make it work, especially with having that Fernco there. If I had to use 2 couplings, for example, that job would have been way harder. And in fact, I'm not even sure if I'd be able to wiggle it in, because again, you need spread whenever you're introducing couplings like an ABS coupling, because the pipe has to go into the hub on both ends, and you need your pipes to be able to move in this direction to be able to slide it in correctly, in other words. So by introducing a Fernco in this situation, we were able to make that work. So peeps, thanks for watching. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification so you know exactly when you're getting videos. Smash that thumbs up, share with friends, and I'll see you plumbers very soon. Kenny Molotov, guys. Peace, baby.